What's up, everybody? It's Friday. I need to put my glasses on. It's Friday, everybody. Now, let me tell y'all something. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for sharing and liking and making all them damn comments on that Basketball Wives review. Y'all, now, as many people as watched that Basketball Wives review, y'all better not watch that reunion. I know y'all want to watch them. Listen.
Sometimes we fight.
Oh, Bryson Tiller. I know y'all want to watch, because y'all want to see what's going to happen. But I think we got to let these motherfuckers know, like, you can't treat people like that. You can't create a group like you. Let me tell you why Malaysia was sticking with Shani and them so tough. She don't have a storyline. Did Malaysia talk about anything this season except for on the first 2 episodes about buying a house? That is it. Nobody, really, no one, if you really think about it, nobody had a storyline. Their storyline was each other. And their storyline was, let's get the pretty girls to mess with the ugly girls, or the girls we don't like because we're threatened by them, or whatever the reason. It was very juvenile. When you study human behavior and you study how female humans in adolescence, how they fight, it's very, all of that what you saw these last 2 episodes is on trend with human behavior. No one is above it, no one is below it. That's what I was trying to think, like, there are women who are like Evelyn, and who believe that they are, society has pumped them up. Black men have pumped them up. You know what I'm saying? So for her to really believe, when she said Ocho Cinco wanted me, she said, girl, please. Like, she couldn't fathom that. Let me get some gas. Let me see. Come on, I need you to come, because I'm trying to go right here and you taking forever, honey. Because I don't want to hit you and you walking like you don't got nowhere to go. So let me turn around. All right. Gotta make sure, those little short little, like, bars that they have up in gas stations. You gotta be careful not to hit them things. Let me put some gas in my car, y'all, and then we gonna get started. But thank y'all for all the new subscribers. Let me tell y'all something. I drive. Most of all my videos are driving. I wear my seatbelt. Okay, y'all need to let the new people know, y'all. I wear my seatbelt. Sometimes I look down. Just think of it like I'm looking at a map and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. Just so that could ease your mind, since you care so much. But we talk about everything. A lot of the times, y'all will not agree with me. I do not hold the ideas, a lot of the ideas, standard ideas about things within our community. Sometimes I don't hold the mass opinion of it. I'm not you'll see. Go watch some of my old videos. You will see the vibe that we on on this channel. Okay. So a lot of times you may not agree, right? You watching that Basketball Wives video and you agree with everything I say because we agree on everything, but I want you to know that you're not going to always agree with me, and we don't argue, we disagree, we discuss, we talk about what we don't agree with. You tell me, Erica, I don't agree with you, but I don't tolerate any ad hominem. So if you're going to come at me personally about an opinion that I have that you don't like, and you're going to attack me personally, you'll get removed from the channel. You will not be able to participate anymore. You'll just be removed. You'll be able to watch, and you'll be able to hate watch, but you won't be able to, contribute to the conversation. So be mindful of that. We don't do none of that shit around here. And again, we talk about everything, and sometimes I don't have anything to talk about, and y'all will just ride with me for the time until I get to my destination. So I'll be right back. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. So I wanted to say welcome to y'all, and we reached 5,000 subscribers this morning. It was like at 5,100, so we are moving up. Like I said, a lot of people subscribed, I think, based on that video with Evelyn and them. what you call it? Yeah, so we're like, we're at 5190 for our subscriber count, you guys. I think that's wonderful. And it's Friday. I love it. And Fridays are my favorite day. But what I really wanted to talk about today was, I posted on the community page like ideas to talk about, but then this thing came up with Botham John, the man who was murdered by an intruder in his home last year. And the case finally came to an end, or the trial finally came to an end. And the actions that took place at the end of the trial. Now, you know that, what's the girl's name? Geiger, Amber Geiger, was the perpetrator, the intruder, the woman, and she happens to be white. It was a white woman who murdered a black man. Walked into his home, said she thought it was her home. I still don't know how she got in the house. Maybe somebody can please, hook me up with that bit of details. But I didn't pay attention to the story, just being honest. I was just like, I figured that a white woman killed a black man. She'll be home just in time to make her carrot slaw with her raisins in it for Thanksgiving. She'll be home just in time. But lo and behold, they gave her 10 years. They sentenced her to 10 years. Now, there's a lot of talk between, abolitionists, for people, prison abolitionists who are like, I really don't, want to celebrate that. But, when people do crimes, violent crimes, they need to go to jail. This was an accident. And, a lot of people, there's a lot of speculations around it or whatever, but I honestly didn't think that anything was going to happen to Amber. So at the end of the trial, they sentence her. She has a black judge. There's a black, I don't know if it was a bailiff or a cop in there, and her and his family. And of course, the judge gets up and, I'm just going to put, she's sentenced to 10 years. His brother forgave her even before she did the time. The judge hugged her and gave her a Bible, and a complaint has been filed against her by an atheist kind of foundation or organization. So an atheist organization filed a complaint against the judge for giving the girl a Bible. So it's like, that was really weird, but it was and then at one point there was a cop, and she is an ex-cop. Let's be clear. She's an ex-cop, and we know how cops are. We know what they're trained to do. We know what they're indoctrinated when they join the police force. We know their policies and procedures as it relates to black people. So she was probably, in addition to growing up in a racist country, she was probably already had some things about black people, some, preconceived ideas about black people, based on, society and what they feed you about black people. But then you go and join the police department, who was created to capture runaway slaves. And so they still haven't changed much of their practices. They're still trying to figure out how, because slavery is over, we have to figure out ways. We can't do a blatant, overt, Jim Crow type, black codes type deal, because you will really get a resistance to that. So we have to figure out ways to put black people back in jail. And whatever they do, if it's just walking down the street, get them, put them back in jail, so that we can get money, so we can continue slavery in this country. Slavery in this country has not stopped. It's just moved to the prison system. And that's why so many people want to abolish the prison system, because it's just another way to keep slavery going in this country. And it is. And it said, they even put it in your country's constitution. So we know the 13th Amendment says that slavery is still legal if you are incarcerated. So what better way to make sure we can continue slavery but to put black people in jail for whatever? So cops do that. And cops, she's a white woman. She's I just thought, I didn't think nothing was going to happen to Amber. I didn't know nothing. I didn't think anything was going to happen to her. And I don't like this camera angle. Is it too shaky? Y'all gonna have to deal. Let me see. Yesterday I was trying to adjust the damn camera and the thing went off. All right, so the cop was rubbing her hair. She probably knew her. And this will happen in Dallas, in Texas. So, you know, Texas is a red state, and you already know what it is, right? So her brother stands up and says, or his brother stands up and says that he forgives her. Like, this is even before doing time. Now, I was listening to, you know, some people, and Angela Yee had, you know, a perspective by saying, you know, he probably needed to do that so that he can release that pain of losing his brother to this woman, a mistake, a very, I mean, like a really terrible accident, if it was an accident. You know, I'm still out with that. So his brother forgives her, and everybody is up in arms because we're talking about how black people in the most traumatic experiences of life are always standing up, forgiving someone who harmed them. And we're trying to figure out where that comes from. And the only place I attribute that is the Bible and black people's obsession with Christianity, and how that it's just so ingrained in us that we at the most traumatic moments stand up and forgive people who have hurt us, because you have a Bible that tells you if people who look like your master, and your master looks like a white man, a white woman, always forgive them, because God forgives them, and you want to be as close to God as possible. And it's really detrimental in a human experience, to me, to just automatically forgive someone without them even trying to make up for it, doing the time, murdering someone, and then turning around and saying, you know what, I forgive you for murdering my family member. So you have two sides of the coin. You have people who forgive just to be like for themselves, to let it go. And then there's some people who forgive who want the person to understand, I forgive you. So I was trying to figure out, you know, why. And everybody's like, black people forgive too much. We forgive too much. And like I said, I attribute that to the Bible. No white person confronted with a white woman who mistakenly murdered someone after intruding their home. No white person. What is it? Is it even allowed? Is a bailiff stroking a defendant's hair allowed? Like the gestures, to me, I felt like it was really odd that it was all black people surrounding this white woman, giving her a hug, handing her a Bible, comforting her by stroking her hair, forgiving her. She murdered a black man. And this is how y'all are. And murder, I don't give a damn what he was. But in this case, we live in this country, and we're not going to act like race is not an issue in this country. Everybody says it's not always about race. Well, we're just going to call it what it is. She's a white woman, that's a fact, and he's a black man. And she went into his home and killed him, and said she thought it was her home. What is it with black people and forgiveness? Why do we feel like we have to forgive people who do us wrong? Why are we encouraged by other black folks to forgive people who have done us? Just forgive them. And then, you know, a lot of people like to frame it. Forgiveness is for yourself. You don't want to hold that. You don't want to hold on to it. It'll be detrimental to you. It will be bad for your health. It will eat you from the inside out. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Charlemagne said something that I thought was clear, but just the way he said it, I was just like, oh, like, it's right and it's true, and I think more people need to speak out. I don't think that forgiveness, for me, I have always said I forgive like the Mafia. I just do. I do. I'm not that evolved yet. I'm not everybody. We're all on, not all of us, but a lot of us are on a spiritual journey, trying to do better, trying to handle different situations better than we did in the past, trying to do better, trying not to repeat patterns of toxic or bad behavior or behavior that doesn't serve us. And forgiveness is one of those things for me. I don't know that I hold I don't know if I hold, is that the same as holding a grudge? Right? Forgive, but you don't forget. There's a saying like that, forgive, but don't forget. But I'm one of those people, I haven't got to that point yet. And for a lot of people, they tell you, you need to forgive because you just have to release that feeling, whether it's pain, sorrow, it's a negative feeling that you're having towards another person or incident or whatever, and you haven't forgiven them. So, how long is the length of time or a healthy amount of time to actually forgive someone after they've done something to you? I don't believe that standing up immediately after someone's been sentenced to be like, I forgive you. No. Go on about your business. Maybe in 5 years, maybe when you get out, I can tell you I've forgiven you now that you've done your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, I'm trying to work on my posture too. So, yes, no traffic today. So, what is our thing? So Charlemagne said something that I thought was interesting, but there's so many Bible and scriptures, Bible verses, and I do believe it has something to do with religion. Somebody was online and I said, just thank the religion. I feel like Christianity and the way that Black people practice Christianity, it has been a detriment to the community as a whole. I feel that it keeps us stagnant. I feel like it keeps us believing that we have to endure pain and suffering, and then we will get our rewards in the afterlife. And the afterlife, no one knows. You are going based on faith. You are not going based on fact. You do not know what happens to you when your body decides I'm done or whatever. You go on, maybe your soul, but you don't know where. No one knows. You go towards a white light, whatever you have heard, but no one is for sure, and no one knows, especially Black folks. And I think that waiting for your rewards while enduring pain in a real life doesn't benefit, doesn't serve any of us. It hasn't served us. And if you think about it, has the religion that was given to you, your ancestors during slavery, that told them that if you do something wrong, God is like your master. He's watching you to keep you obedient and docile and meek, to keep you all of those things. And now the person that you're kneeling and prostrating for and submitting to, it looks like the same people who oppress your whole group of people. And all we do is stand up and we continue to forgive. And when I say we, I know I'm not talking about everybody. I'm speaking in general terms. Y'all not gonna not all me to death. I'm not doing that. It's always some. It's always some. It's never always all, but it is always some. So let's be very clear about that. So please don't not all me to death, okay? At the end of the day, I believe that the religion has kept us stagnant. I believe that because of the tenets, the beliefs that you are told to practice, a lot of them are detrimental to you and do not serve you in this life. And it's unfortunate that you have a judge walk down from her bench and hand this woman, hug her, and hand her a Bible. we don't ever get to that's the thing. Another thing, we don't ever get to be mad. Black people, the only emotion that we get to show when somebody's been awful to us is strength. This false idea that we're strong and we're resilient and we can take this pain and this abuse because of slavery. As a people in this country that were enslaved have come so far in terms of not being enslaved and all of these other things that happen to black people. But the underlying foundation of your faith is telling you to be obedient, to forgive people, turn the other cheek, all of this other shit that doesn't serve you. And I think a lot of people are upset about that because we don't even get to be upset. We don't even get to be sad about the situation. We immediately have to forgive white people for doing something wrong to us. Even, I don't know if it was Eric Gardner. No, his wife was unapologetic. Like that, like the way she used to go off on people, like, I'm not forgiving you. Fuck you. You killed my motherfucking husband. No, we don't get to do that. We have to be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like, we're the ones that did something wrong. And y'all really are rubbing her, comforting her. Now, I'm not saying people who just murdered somebody doesn't need comforting, but the optics, that don't look good. That doesn't look good to anybody. First of all, you're supposed to be a judge. You're supposed to sit your ass up there. What are you, unless it's a child, you don't need to come off your bench and hug nobody. I don't give a fuck what they did. If you gonna hug a victim, fine. If you gonna hug this man's family, fine. But the defendant, the person who is being judged and the person who's being punished, you ain't giving them no hugs. Are you crazy? I'm so glad that a complaint was filed against her. And for it to be a black woman, 2 black women and a black man, and the woman, like, it's just from history, it's triggering to a lot of people. These gestures are triggering for a lot of people. All black people extending forgiveness. The word religion. So here's my thing. Like I said, I attribute oh, we gotta be the bigger person. A lot of that has to do with respectability politics, because you don't want anybody to believe that black people behave this way. You don't want anybody to have a negative view about black people. You don't want to you're afraid of validating a stereotype. So you behave in a certain way. I used to do it. I used to say, I'm not going to even give that white motherfucker, I'm not going to even give him the pleasure of him seeing me act like a nigga. Using that word the same way they would use it. I was like, oh, let me tell you something. First things first. No matter how you act, behave, they're going to think about you what they think about you. So you trying to behave in a certain way to make them comfortable, or to make them at ease with dealing with you, or to make them feel like you're not threatening, fuck that. Be yourself. Be who you are. Stop behaving for white people. Stop trying to make you gotta be the bigger person. Stop. That has to stop, y'all. Because look at what it looks like. This white woman killed this man, and all the black people, you didn't see no white person comforting her. Did you? Because for me, I feel like, was that shit, like, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, was that shit intentional? She had a black judge, a black bailiff, the victim is black, and at the end of it, you are sentenced to 10 years for murdering someone, and all the black people surround you and comfort you. Anime. All of them are around her, comforting her, stroking her hair. Girl, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, what is this girl doing? But see, let me tell y'all one thing. What we're not going to continue to do, another thing what we're not going to continue to do is be outraged by these images. Why? Because we have learned in the last 10 years, based on the way that social media has allowed us to share so much and to have access to so much, that our emotional outrage is currency to these people. And we cannot continue to pay them off of our outrage. Our emotional outrage, they monetize that shit. Whether it's a company putting an ad that is insensitive to black people, whether it's somebody calling someone a nigger, whatever it is, we are emotionally, somebody said I used the word incorrectly, reactive. Is that what the word? Not reactionary. Reactionary is a political term, because I say reactionary. Somebody corrected me. So I think it's reactive. Or we react emotionally. So they bank on that. And because as we know as a people how powerful we are, I'm telling you, when people start unlearning the religion, and I'm not telling you, I'm just saying what I've watched and what I'm witnessing. Start unlearning the precepts and removing the things that doesn't serve them in their religion. Because that Bible, let me tell you something. Let me read y'all something. First of all, religion literally means to bind. We have to stop allowing that to hold us hostage as well, because we think that it's freeing, but it's been a detriment to our community. How has Jesus served black people is my question. How has Jesus served black people? You see me trying to get over, you piece of shit. Oh, and I have I cuss people out while I'm driving too. It's a little, you do it, so it's all good. Asshole. Fucking asshole. Let me get behind this motherfucker. So, religion means literally to bind. And like I said, I really want to know, what has Jesus done for black people? What has being forgiving, and what has because somebody on the radio was like, the woman hugging her was an extension or expression of God's love. And that's how you're supposed to be. Loving and compassion when somebody is in pain or hurtful. But the way that black people have been treated in the criminal justice system, that's not something that you want to demonstrate for everybody to see. If you were a judge and you wanted to hug that girl, you should have waited. You just don't, because there's so many people in jail right now for more than 10 years for lesser crimes, for stealing for survival. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many, the criminal justice system to black people has not been fair, and we know it. Neither has your religion. The religion hasn't been fair to you either. Charlemagne says something that I thought was the way that he just put it. I said, are black people so bound by religion, because religion means to bind. So are black people so bound by religion that we're stuck? Are we? Answer, let me know, because I'm trying to figure out, when does it serve us? And then we always have to act like we're the better person. We always have to do the forgiving. We always have to, and then we're the ones who are experiencing the trauma. We're experiencing the trauma, and we have to forgive the person who's done that to us. And the religion that was used to enslave your ancestors is the same religion that you follow. The same master that you fought, religion was used to obey this master. They're telling you the man that you serve, that you pray to, that you submit to, looks just like a slave owner. You were driving really fast. Are we more forgiving of white people than we are of each other? That's another question. Because that's just another question. We'll go with that. Charlemagne ThaGod said something. When you worship white Jesus, he first said Jesus is not your ally. That's how he started it. But he said, when you worship white Jesus, you can't rebel against any master that appears in the physical form of your oppressor. It's impossible for the oppressor to not view themselves as God and always feel they are right by virtue of divine order, even when they are wrong. I was like, Charlemagne, I know a lot of people don't fuck with Charlemagne. I fuck with Charlemagne. We don't always agree. But this, when he said that, I was like, what the fuck did he just say? And it was so like, clearly, it was just so, it just rolled off. And I was like, what did he say? And I'm like, yes, that is exactly what it is. You know, that's his quote. I wouldn't say any master, but if your God is your master, and your God looks like your oppressor, you will never be able to rebel against your oppressor because you're running up against God. And when it's time to fight God, you're like, wait a minute, I'm trying to get into heaven. I ain't trying to fight God. So let me forgive you for shooting me. Let me forgive you for choking me to death. Let me forgive you for hanging me in a jail cell and saying that it was suicide. Let me forgive you. Let me forgive you. What? Where is that godness as a people? These systems that were created, and religion is a system. These systems that were created, they don't always serve us. And you got to remove the shit that doesn't serve you. And I took myself to the Bible. You know, we study all religions out here, okay? Because at the end of the day, everyone is trying to get to this place in the sky. And every religion from all civilizations have holy books, and we reread them so we can understand the world and history. Religious history is it's so interesting. But anyway, Peter 2:18 says, slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourselves to your masters, not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. Slaves, obey your earthly masters. Not me in the sky, but your earthly masters, okay? In everything. And do it not only when their eye is on you and to curry their favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence of the Lord. That's Galatians 3:22. Exodus 2:17 says, or 21:7 says, if a man sells his daughter as a servant, she is not to go free as male servants do. That's another form of slavery. While y'all trying to, we could talk about marriage on another day. That's another form of slavery. Anyway, at the end of the day, do black people forgive to the detriment of themselves? And is the religion keeping us doing these things that don't benefit us as a whole here on earth? Why do we do those? Why? And it's like trying to be the better person. I don't know. We don't even allow ourselves to grieve. We don't know, because you're always trying to forgive somebody. You're always trying to be the better. I'm not there yet. I'm just not there. How do you guys deal with it? Some people are, like I said, like Angela's point of view was, forgiveness for himself, to say, this is how I have to do this in order for me to move forward. I cannot not forgive this person because I won't be able to move forward. So let me see. So what do y'all think? Oh, it's 38 minutes. Okay, because I went to get gas. I was like, wait a minute. What do y'all think? Do you think that religion binds black people? And do you think that, and has Jesus served black people? What has Jesus done for black people? Do you feel that black people are committed to suffering on this earth and waiting for the rewards in the afterlife? Like, what's going on? And it's just like, somebody's like, Jesus is not your ally, hasn't been your ally. And nobody, and you can't tell anybody what to believe, especially when it's not based in fact. When it's not based in fact, it's hard to have a logical argument about it, right? You can't speak logically about something where you're not dealing with fact. So you're always gonna have arguments about it, because we're not dealing with facts. We're dealing with feelings. We're dealing with emotions. Again, like I said, they monetize our emotions. Our black people's emotional reactions to things is currency for a lot of these corporations. They know that we don't want to deal with no bullshit. They know we're going to speak out against it, and we're going to speak out loudly against it. And so they use it. I believe in my heart of hearts that it's like, okay, let's see what we could do to get the niggas upset. Because one thing we will do is, instead, we have to let everybody know how we feel about something. We have to and with social media, it's created more of a storm. Like, let's let everyone know that we want to boycott, and then what happens? Let everyone know that we're upset about something, and what does that do? It brings attention to that something, right? And sometimes that something is a product that can be purchased. So when you bring attention to a product that can be purchased that outrage black folks, there are some people who will be like, oh, it made the black people mad, so let's go buy it. And that's just what happens. So what do y'all think about forgiveness? What do y'all think about the judge, hugging the girl and giving her a Bible? Like, I was like, you really, like, here's your master going to jail for killing another black man, and y'all hand her a Bible. Like, I'm like, it's just, the optics were bad for some people, but it was just like, oh, okay, this is what we doing? You're gonna hand your master a Bible. Like, the imagery of that alone is just like, okay, that's what we doing? Handing folks Bibles in court? Okay. All right. I know that this country's main religion is Christianity. I know it is. But when you're in a court of law in this country and you tell people that they have a right to practice any religion that they want in this country, and you hand a defendant a Bible, it doesn't look good. I don't know. I know it's not against the law. It just doesn't look good. And it doesn't give people who commit crimes, who wind up in a jail, who may not read or study or practice or follow your religion, your Bible, they may feel like they're not getting fair treatment. I mean, that's how it is. That, to me, I was like, she looks crazy. And to me, I just don't, it really just gives us something to talk about with black people and forgiveness. And I really think that, we should analyze our religious practices. I'm not a follower of the religion, but I do study it. I do try to, and because I do study, I think people who study the religion really don't follow it per se. They study it, and they're studying it for context, for understanding. And when you start really studying it, and I know that the people who are the loudest when it comes to their religion haven't studied their religion at all. They are only regurgitating what some man has fed to them. They have allowed a plate to be slid in front of them, and they're eating and then regurgitating and wanting you to eat it, instead of actually looking in the plate and asking to speak to the cook. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the reason the ones that are the loudest don't have a real good grasp intellectually when it comes to their religion. It's all really emotional, faith-based. It's not an analysis, right? So that's where you get the people who are speaking the loudest. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, or tell me if it has served you. If forgiveness has served you, share with us in the comments how it has served you. And what did you forgive the person for doing? What did you forgive the person for doing? And how did forgiveness serve you? I think that's a great question too. Anything else I have? I don't have nothing else, you guys. It's been a wonderful trip. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. And we'll get down in the comments. Peace.